Hello and welcome to the serverless programming using AWS Lambdas course. This is Bharat Reddy. I am a software architect and best-selling instructor. Serverless programming and AWS Lambdas are an open-ended topic and there are numerous use cases for which we can use them. And I am going to do my best to give you all the knowledge that is required to work on any business requirement you have. We will start this course by mastering the fundamentals of serverless programming and AWS Lambdas. You will then create and run your very first AWS Lambda function using the AWS console. You will then move on to install the tools of trade. You will set up a IAM user required to work with AWS command line utility and also SAM CLI. So you are going to set up AWS CLI and SAM CLI on your machine. You will install Java, Maven, Eclipse, Postman to test RESTful APIs that you are going to create using Lambdas. Last, the Visual Studio Code is optional. You can use any text editor of your choice. Visual Studio Code is free and it makes it super easy to edit YAML files. You will learn the basics of YAML right here and you will be using YAML throughout the course. Everything that involves DevOps has YAML in it. You will create your very first serverless project using AWS SAM CLI by using SAM init command. You will understand the project structure. You will master the syntax of template.yaml file, which we use to create the entire infrastructure through CloudFormation with a single command. You will understand the contents of the pom.xml. Next, you will test the Lambda function not only remotely on the cloud, but also on your local machine. You will access the remote logs from your command line as well, and you will delete the entire stack with a single command from your command line as well. You will then move on to learn the signature of every Lambda function, the different ways in which a Lambda function can be invoked, and how to access the environment variables from within a Lambda function, the cold start basics as well. You will then use API gateway as a trigger to your Lambda function to create serverless APIs. The data will be stored in DynamoDB from AWS as the backend for our application. In the process, you will also learn how to secure your AWS Lambda functions, which is very important. Next, you will move on to the asynchronous side of things, where you will use the S3 service to trigger your Lambda functions. You will be reading data from a S3 bucket, the file we are going to upload, by using APIs and SDKs provided by AWS. We will also use SNS, the simple notification service, as a trigger to the Lambda function in this section. Moving on to advanced and non-functional requirements, you will learn how to use log4j logging from within your Lambda function and also handle exceptions gracefully and use dead letter queues. Last but not the least, you will learn various important concepts like cold start, scaling, layers, and more.